Hello again from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The countdown clock here at the Kennedy Space Center press site is now ticking down to a simulated T0 for the Space Launch System dress rehearsal at 2:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday. And this clock, there's no day column on this clock, so the clock is actually 1 day, 19 hours, and 9 minutes. This is the T-minus time. There's actually 2 hours of built-in hold time in this countdown that we also have to account for. But the target simulated launch time on Sunday is 2:40 p.m. Eastern Time, or 1840 UTC. Cryogenic propellant loading into the core stage will begin shortly after 7 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday. That'll be followed a few hours later by loading of cryogenic propellants into the upper stage of the Space Launch System. Then there will be a final built-in hold at T-minus 10 minutes in holding. That'll last 30 minutes if everything's going according to plan. And then the clock will again resume at T-minus 10 minutes and enter the terminal countdown. So the plan Sunday is to proceed into the countdown and run the clock until T-minus 33 seconds. At that point, the countdown will be stopped as planned and recycled back to 10 minutes, and we'll hold for around an hour or so. And then the launch team will again resume the countdown, and if everything is working, everything going according to plan, the countdown clock will then proceed down to T-minus 9.3 seconds, where it will be held just prior to the point in the countdown when the 4 main engines on the base of the core stage would ignite during a real launch attempt. So all this is getting practice and demonstrating that the Space Launch System, the various components of the rocket, as well as the mobile launch platform, which itself is a complicated piece of machinery out at Pad 39B. Everything is ready to go for the Artemis 1 launch day. The Artemis 1 launch is scheduled for sometime no earlier than June, and NASA is expected to set an official target date after the completion of this wet dress rehearsal. So with the clock now ticking, the early parts of this countdown involve things like powering up the Space Launch System core stage, as well as power up of the Orion spacecraft and checkouts of various systems on both vehicles. The launch team out at Pad 39B will move the flame deflectors into position around the Space Launch System to, as they would during launch, to divert the exhaust from the rocket engines and boosters as designed when the rocket lifts off. Again, those engines and boosters will not be ignited during this dress rehearsal this weekend. But all the procedures, all the motions are being performed as they would during a real launch countdown. So we'll be continuing to provide live streaming views of the Space Launch System throughout the weekend. And we'll have more detailed commentary and updates on Sunday as the cryogenic tanking process begins early in the morning, and then proceeding into throughout the countdown and proceeding into the terminal countdown testing on Sunday afternoon. NASA TV is not providing any live coverage of this countdown dress rehearsal, despite numerous requests for access to the to listen to the countdown nets from news media representatives. NASA plans to release periodic updates on social media accounts and on the agency's blog about the progress of the countdown, and we'll pass those along as we get them. So with the wet dress rehearsal countdown underway, we'll pause our commentary now. We'll be back for periodic updates again through the weekend and more detailed coverage on Sunday. I'm Stephen Clark reporting live from Kennedy Space Center.